Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Psychic Medium Samantha Fe, and I am so thankful to be here with you for Feel Good Meds. Here it is Thursday morning here in downtown LA. But remember that anytime you watch this message is perfectly timed for you. So whether you're watching it right now or whether you're watching it on the replay or even if you're watching it on my YouTube channel a year from now, it doesn't matter. This message is perfectly timed and perfectly aligned just for you. So I'm pretty excited. So many new things are moving through in my world and in my life. All of the things that I have been dreaming up and putting into not even my vision board, but into what I would like to call my vortex. It's like everything is actually coming to fruition and bigger and better, and oh my gosh, way more than I ever thought or could even imagine is happening. It's all happening. And so I am working through my growth on that. I don't know if that happens for you. Please chime in and let me know. But when you experience an opportunity or some phase of growth starts to happen, I know that I start to actually feel growth symptoms. And so I'm just learning how to find my way through the fear of newness and continuing to embrace what I always knew was meant for me. So beautiful. So thankful for each and every one of you for being here. Let's go ahead and start and open with the prayer. As we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. As I'm shuffling the cards, they are telling me that they are not to be used today. Okay, sounds good. So hello, Erin. Hello, Donald. Hello, Jessica, Tori, Judy, Grace, Kat. Hello. All right. So my sweet friends, let me know who would like to do a reading today. And I'd love to work with somebody that I have not yet seen on here. So please do let me know. And for those of you who are veterans, you know that even though I don't say your name, sorry, I'm so wiggly over here, just getting myself comfortable. Even if I don't say your name, you know that these readings are for you. And so there's a beautiful, beautiful shift in connection and transition that we are having the opportunity to experience. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Tori, you have been on here, but I don't think that we've done a reading. So I'll go ahead and start with you, sweet friend. Hello, hello. All right, so Tori, what I am seeing, interesting. What I'm seeing, it's like I'm seeing that there are two energies that are there. It's almost like they're squishing you. Like you're almost, where's the camera here? You're in between this shape. That makes sense. So you're in between this shape. You're right here. Now, what's happening in that middle space where you're like getting squished is that the past, what has happened in your life, it needs to fall away. It needs to go away. It needs to dissolve. It needs to just go away. I don't know how else to say it. There needs to be a cutoff so that it can be released and let go. Now, the reason for that being is that there is something that is transpiring. It's like something is trying to pull you up, and as something is trying to pull you up, I'm seeing where your energy is in resistance to it. And so as your energy is in resistance to it, it's creating this friction that's creating the discomfort inside of your body. I feel like I am reading myself right now. This is so funny how this always works. But that piece that's pulling you up is pulling you up in your highest favor. It is pulling you up in your highest good. What I'm seeing is that part of the resistance is, yeah, but look at what I've created, look at what I've done, and look at how beautiful it is, and look at how fabulous it is, and look at how much, how incredible it is, and look at how badly I want it, and look at da-da-da-da-da. It's like I see you focusing so much on what you've already done and what you've already created that you're actually not, looking up in the direction of what's there for you, and what's up and there for you is the next step of your evolution. It's the next step of what's working for you, and it's the next step of what's going to bring you into your space of wholeness and into your space of newness that is going to allow you for the next level of your own expansion. As I say that, there's another piece that's coming in, is that I'm seeing that part of the reason that you're stifling your growth is to not outshine a couple of people that are in your world and in your life around you, because it will disrupt the dynamic of the relationship. And so I'm seeing part of the resistance is not wanting to disrupt the dynamic of the relationship, that you want to, like, the subconscious attachment is that you want to keep the dynamic of the relationship the same. And so as you want to keep the dynamic of that relationship the same, it's not allowing you to move forward and shine. But here's the deal. When you shine, everybody else has more permission to shine. So we have this idea or this construct that if you become a better version of yourself, then the people around you are going to feel less than, they're not going to feel as good, they have, other hiccups, that sort of thing. But when you give yourself permission to shine, and when you give yourself permission to actually step forward, and when you give yourself permission to be bigger, to be brighter, to be more successful, to be more evolved, to be more joyful, when you give yourself permission to do that, you actually also do the exact same thing for your entire inner circle. So you have this entire inner circle that's right there that is going to evolve with you by constructs of the ripple effect. This is how this works. Now, the reason a lot of people get stuck in their growth and they don't want to keep growing is because of the attachments that we have to the people that are around us. But here's the deal. You don't have to cut all the cords and leave everybody in the dust. It's not about that. But what if you just gave a little bit more leeway? What if you just loosened the attachment? What if you just let yourself move more freely in your own domain and gave more room for them to move more freely, so that you're not so tied up in each other's business that you're not allowing each other to grow? That ultimately is what I'm seeing is happening here. I'm going to turn my light up just a little bit more. So, Tori, let me know if that is helpful. Let me know if that's helpful, how that resonates. For those of you also whose name is not Tori, let me know if that's resonating or how that is, how that's coming up for you, or what is the mirror in your life. Welcome, Andy. It's been a while. How are you, my friend? Welcome, Chris. Welcome. All right, beautiful, Tori. Tori, here's the bottom line. Here's the point. Just keep saying yes. And do everything, your biggest priority right now, your absolute biggest priority right now is watching yourself release resistance and getting out of the way of resistance. Now, when I learned how to develop my psychic abilities, my mentors kept teaching me the phrase, what you resist persists. It comes back. If you resist it, it persists. And so that was ingrained in my brain. And so I always picked the path of most resistance. The path of most resistance offered me an extraordinary amount of growth in a very short period of time. Very short period of time. I will acknowledge that. What I will also say is that what I am learning now is that instead of staying in a constant form of resistance, that it is more about gaining traction. Now, traction is what happens, of course, when rubber meets pavement and you move forward. So there's going to be some sort of contact, and there's going to be some form of traction. And that traction isn't the same as resistance, but it still exists in a similar construct. But the key here is being able to identify what is traction created by momentum and what is resistance because it's not the right way. Because what resistance is it's a door that's shut that doesn't want to move. Resistance is the path that is not going to help you move in that direction. But, and I will answer what is the difference. So the key here is finding, this is really where the difference comes in. The key is finding the path of most allowance. So the path of most allowance gives you permission to move freely. Now, the path of most allowance is also like if you look at a river, where is the water flowing? There's little corners in the river where the water gets stuck. And then there's also path of most allowance where the river is flowing the hardest and the fastest and nothing stops that from moving. Right? And sometimes we are in that path, we are in that flow, and sometimes we're like meandering to the sides, and sometimes we're meandering to the sides. And, it's like we want to find that path of most allowance that's going to offer for the fastest speed of just movement. Just movement. It isn't like who can grow the fastest, who can transform the fastest. It's just how can you evolve through your life path with the most amount of joy. So finding the path of most allowance is really what is it that you want to do. Now, this is how this works, is that if you are in a constant state of flow of doing exactly what it is that you want to do, what happens is that it gives your inner being more permission to speak to you, for you to act on impulse. And I know that to be impulsive is this taboo thing. But ultimately, where are you getting these impulses? Where are you getting these ideas of these impulses that are coming through? And as you get these ideas of impulses that are coming through, they're coming from your inner being. Your inner being is going to lead you to the path of least resistance. So this means, yes, the path of least resistance is actually going to create more traction. It's going to create more momentum. It's when things keep moving. Now, resistance is when you just straight don't want to do something. When something is there and you're like, I just don't want to do it. I don't know why. I just don't want to do it. I just can't get myself to do it. I just whatever that is, listen to it. I think the biggest struggle that I've created for myself is trying to force myself to do the things that I don't want to do, specifically in my business. And when I do that, my business actually suffers. It actually suffers because I'm suffering. And if I'm creating my business, then of course what I am feeling in my energy body is then what goes rippling into my business and my interactions and all of these other things. Now, of course, there's a dynamic of receptivity of what you're calling in. So when you're in the path of most allowance, what you're calling in has room to come to you. But when you're in the path of most resistance, let's say you're in a job that you hate. Let's say you're in a relationship that just keeps you tethered and keeps you down. Let's say any of these things that are coming for you, the gifts, the rewards, the blessings, they need room to come into your life. And so life becomes a constant ebb and flow of receiving and letting go and receiving and letting go and receiving and letting go. And here's the thing, most people don't want to let go. They don't want to let go. Even if it's a really shitty circumstance, they don't want to let it go because the egoic mind is tied to the constructs of that identity. So the egoic mind says, who am I without that story? Who am I without the story of the abusive mother? Who am I without the story of the sexual trauma? Who am I without the story of these things? And so then the ego freaks out and says, don't let that go. But the inner being is saying, I want to grow. I want to evolve. I want to move. I want to do things. And so it does take the egoic mind coming into full alignment with your inner being. So your inner being giving your egoic mind permission to follow the path of least resistance, which is the path of most allowance. When you start this path, it is going to feel ass backwards. It is going to feel like things are not making sense. And it's going to feel like you're going against the grain because you are. We've been programmed that hard work equals money. Being broke is okay and it's a way that people live, and living paycheck to paycheck. There's so many stories that reaffirm that you're not the only one living paycheck to paycheck. You're not the only one with money problems. You're not the only one with debt. You're not the only one with da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so we keep ourselves stuck in these things. But that's not how the universe works. I was in a meeting last night and this gentleman said that, I forgot what he said, that there's something like $841 trillion on this planet. And that number continues to grow. $841 trillion on this planet. The only thing that is keeping you from being able to put more of that in your pocket or your bank account is your belief that you don't deserve it, or your belief that you can't access it, or your belief that the money belongs to the rich people, or your belief, like all of that is shenanigans. It's not real. It's not real. Money is an energy, and there is an infinite source of money on this planet. It is your responsibility to be able to recognize and see that there is more there for you. And I'm using money as the example because that's, I think, one of the most obvious things where people recognize, they see in black and white on their computer screen, this is X amount of dollars that I have. Oh no, that might not be enough. Oh no. So then your mind goes into creating an extreme amount of resistance. So then it doesn't allow it to come in. So the deal with this is that you can make room through the path of most allowance. So instead of stressing, and again, I'm just using money because it's such a black and white example. It's like, it is what it is, right? If we look at like relationships are a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit more convoluted. You can't be like, I want more relationship. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not as black and white. You're like, oh, do you want 20 relationship? That doesn't make sense. But you could be like, I want $20,000. Okay, that's concrete. That we can see that. That's black and white. Get it. Boom. So what you have to do is align your vibrational frequency to that that's going to offer the most allowance. It's going to offer the most to come in. So that's what we're talking about. You have this shape where you're stuck here. You have what has happened in the past. Let that go. You have this opportunity that's pulling you up, that's giving you graces. It's saying, come with me. It's new. You don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe you don't have all the education or qualifications to get into it. It doesn't matter. Take it anyway. Go for it and let go of the things that you have either already created or that you are making room for future endeavors. So give yourself that grace. Give yourself that grace completely. Beautiful. All right. So Tori, thank you for bringing so much to the surface. I love to see that this is resonating with some of you. It's Chad, bingo. Liz, you love the word shenanigans. You know, when I said it, I was like, this is for somebody. All right. Beautiful. Joe, perfect timing. Now, I saw someone that was here for the first time. Up at the beginning. Who was it? The one, Sandra. Anacleto? Am I saying that right? Sandra, you still here? You still here, my sweet friend? All right. So while Sandra is coming on, I'm going to do another one just because I feel like it. I do want to let you guys know. Okay, so this whole 222 reading deal, Spirit encouraged me to do this last week. And I was in resistance to it because I was like, what the fuck? Pretty much. And then I really just this week, I decided to listen to my inner being, listen to my inner impulse, and actually offer that as an opportunity. So yes, my 6-month programs, I have charged $15,000 for. So my individual session price is at $1,500. That's what I charge. So right now, for today, you have the opportunity to book a reading with me for $222. It is a screaming deal. It's lower than my comfort zone is allowing, and I am totally okay with that because I know that Spirit is guiding me. My intuition is telling me that there are, people who are going to be my greatest teachers that show up and being able to do that. As I mentioned, I am going through a massive, like the biggest growth period of my life right now. It is shaking me up and moving all sorts of things around, and I'm totally vague booking about it because I can't really talk about it. But what I can say is that it is rocking my world. And so the best way for me to be able to move through that energy is to help other people move through their energy by doing readings. That's the benefit of being a healer. That's the benefit of being a psychic, a mentor, anything. It's that the people that show up in our world and in our lives also become our greatest teachers. So if you are interested in doing that, I'm going to offer it just this one last time on this video to do the 222 reading. We did fill all 10 spots, but since you're here and since you're live with me, you have the opportunity to do that. I would love to connect with you. We're going to book those this Friday and then next Thursday, Friday, and that is the only time slots that I have available to do this. So I would love nothing more than for you to connect in with me in that reading space. If you're feeling any pull, any inkling, let me know. I want to connect with you. Let's chat. Yeah, beautiful. No, Robin, you're here. Beautiful. Welcome, Katrina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so yes. Sandra. All right, so this is what I would love for everybody to do before I dive into the reading with Sandra. Let's go ahead, place one hand on your heart, one hand on top of your head. And just feel yourself and visualize your crown chakra on top of your head, opening and closing like a camera lens. You have a chakra that's there and just see it, open and close on top of your head right under your hand. Go ahead and see that chakra aligning your third eye, your fifth chakra down through your throat, and then your other chakras line up along the length of your spine. So go ahead and just simply set the intention that you are lining up your chakras and bringing them into full harmony and balance with each other. And go ahead and create a grounding cord. So create that line of energy from your root chakra all the way down to the center of the planet. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And allow your crown chakra to line all the way up with the center of the sun. And feel that flow of golden light energy moving through your body, filling you up from your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your torso, through your shoulders, your arms, through your throat, up through your crown of your head, and beaming all the way out through your aura. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now that we have that flow of energy moving, we are all in the same space. I invite you to also set an intention. So as I'm going to be reading Sandra and saying her name, I also encourage you to set an intention in this space of any question or any insight or any guidance that you would like clarity on, that you would like to have answered. Now, the way that this works is that I'm opening myself into the container and I'm allowing those desires, those wishes to be held in a rose. It is for me. It's like, kind of like my communication rose. So allowing those desires to go into that, feeling into that energy and alignment, and allowing source energy to channel through my being and through my words to be able to bring you the insights that you came here for, that's going to help continue to build traction, to gain momentum, and to release resistance. Woo! Look at us go. All right, my sweet friends. So you're welcome to stay in a meditation space as I go through this reading. You're welcome to take notes if you'd like, whatever feels right for you. But stay connected. Stay connected. I encourage you to stay through to the end. Probably won't be more than 10 minutes if you can. And you will get that guidance. All right, beautiful. So, Miss Sandra, hello, hello, hello. Beautiful. All right. So Sandra, what I see, it's interesting because the same image is coming up, which again, it's like, I see a similar image in recognizing that, yes, it's similar to what I'm experiencing and going through as well. So what I'm seeing here, it's very interesting, is that I have that image from the last reading, but what I see is like where you've actually popped yourself out of that. I see where your energy, it is elevated right now as in like comparison to other stages of your life, I am seeing that your energy is elevated right now, that it is working for you. And I think the message here is to keep milking that while it's there. Keep milking basically like, if you don't like the word milking, but basically keep it coming through, keep it coming through, keep it coming through. That when good things are happening, keep the good things happening. I think it's funny that this is one of the lessons that I go back to, that when I was going to school at a junior college many moons ago, I was taking a spin class. And so during the spin class, she had us go around the room and say, basically choose what kind of section of the spin class we wanted to do. And I was a complete smartass at this stage of my life. My econ teacher called me Smartass Samantha, because that's how much of a smartass I was. But she came to me and she said, okay, so what move do you want to do? And I said, let's go downhill, because that seems easy. And so she goes, okay. And I'm like thinking that we're going to get a break sort of deal. She had us turn the resistance all the way down. Literally all the way down. And I don't know if you've been on a spin bike with the resistance all the way down, but it's kind of crazy. Like, you really have to actually use muscle control. You're not pushing your muscles. You're actually controlling your muscles so that you're controlling the bike. But what I learned from that, and the whole reason I'm telling this story, is that when you have momentum and when you have the slide of energy working with you and for you, when you have that building and when you have that moving through for you, take full advantage of it and keep it flowing as best you can. The thing that she was teaching us about, because she was actually a cyclist and so she did lots of races and that sort of thing, she told us that the downhill spot is when you have the biggest possibility of actually moving forward in the ranking, meaning you have the biggest possibility of passing people, so that when other people are just rolling on the downhill and they're not pedaling and they're not trying to go faster, they're just kind of doing their thing. But if you are going downhill and you're pedaling and pedaling and pedaling and pedaling and pedaling, you're actually going to build momentum. You're actually going to build the room for you to grow beyond, right, the others. And it's not to say that, life is a competition by any means. My point here is to say that when things are working for you, focus on what's working. Focus on what's working, focus on what's working, focus on what's working, focus on what's working, because what's working will start to magnify the more you focus on what's working. So when you get your mind to focus on that, rather than thinking, oh, something good happened, that means something bad's about to happen. And so you prepare yourself for something bad, but that's shenanigans. It's total shenanigans. You want to be able to focus on what's working, because that attention and that energy, when you have that path of least resistance that's opened up, it's like, go for it. That's your go time. That's when you turn all systems up. That's when you fire up all engines. That's when you go for it. This is not the time to rest. This is the time to boom, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that is what is going to shift and change so much for you. So much for you easily. So easily. So easily. So, to that we say yes. Duh. To that we completely and clearly say yes. And that is what I really want to offer you today, is to just keep the momentum flowing. Keep the momentum flowing. Keep the momentum flowing. Because you're doing a great job. And I do feel like we are all entering into Katrina, stop using the word struggle. We talked about this yesterday. Stop using the word struggle. Take it out of your vocabulary right now. If you say the word struggle again in my presence, I'm going to just do this, but more of it. Stop saying that word. It doesn't exist. You guys, watch your vocabulary. That's the point of this message. Watch your vocabulary. Watch what you're bringing in. Watch what you're calling in. Watch what you are bringing in with your words, with your language. Trust me, it matters. It matters, it matters, it matters. Watch your thoughts. Catch your thoughts. Let them go. Be aware of what you're bringing in. Be aware of what you're bringing in. If you are using the word struggle, you're reaffirming that struggle exists. No, it doesn't. It only exists in the construct of your mind. There is a silver lining to all circumstances. Every single thing that happens in your life, no matter how bad it makes you feel, is always a blessing. It is always, 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 always a blessing. Katrina, I love you. I'm looking out for you, girl. We're switching this language thing around. We're switching it around so that you can create newness and vibration of wellness and vibration of joy and vibration of happiness. What if you started saying, this is my highest joy? What if you started saying, the joy is real? What if you started saying that? What would happen? What would happen? God, it's just so good. It's so good. Yay. Okay, so that being said, I so thoroughly have enjoyed this time. And if you're just coming on, I do encourage you to go back and watch from the beginning. We had a wonderful reading there too, and talking about, again, how to find resistance versus traction, traction and momentum, how to keep and turn that faucet on and keep it going even faster, even harder, even beautiful, even more bright. Yes, we say yes to all of that. Boom. Okay, so final thing and final opportunity. Kayla, can you please post the link for me, darling? With the reading, as I mentioned, this is your last opportunity. I was even going to actually raise the price to $333 because those 10 spots were filled, but I'm going to be nice and just keep going with the $222 because I know that Spirit is leading you to me and that we are meant to connect if you are feeling that pull. Yes, for those of you that are worried about the money, just let that go and let Spirit fill your bank account again. Let Spirit fill your bank account again. You don't have to make money. You just have to sit back and receive the money that Spirit brings to you. Yeah, that's real. That's real. Let it happen. You create the channel, you create the flow, and then Spirit brings it and just fills it up. Boom, shaka, laka. Okay, so yes, please, Kayla, post that link, my sweet friends. I'm going to stay on here until I see that that link is posted. Thank you, Kayla. So that link right there, use the discount code 222 reading. It will take it down from $1,500 to $222. Yes, there is an opportunity for you to purchase some recordings from the Intuitive Connection Academy there if you'd like at also a total discount. But I really wanted to, again, get some energy moving, get some energy flowing. As I've mentioned, I'm going through one of the biggest growth periods of my life. The easiest and best way for me to move through that is to do readings. So Spirit led me to this. I'm excited to share in that space with you. Truly, it's so much fun. I haven't been doing enough one-to-one readings, so I'm really excited to get back on that bike and move it forward again. All right, my sweet, sweet, sweet and dear loving friends, thank you. Rachel, please, I know you just got here, but I'm calling you out. Take advantage of the 222 reading. I would love to do a reading with you, and please do that. All right, my sweet loves. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much complete, and I do look forward to seeing those of you who are down in the reading space. All right, my loves. I hope you have the best weekend ever, and I will talk to you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.